At the edge of the earth where molten fury meets the heavens, something spectacular unfolded. On May 25, 2025, Hawaii's Kīlauea volcano erupted in a fiery spectacle not seen in 4 decades. Lava fountains shooting over 1,000 feet into the sky, painting the darkening evening with orange fire and black smoke. This wasn't just an eruption. It was Earth cracking open a window to its inner chaos, a breathtaking reminder of the volatile forces that churn beneath our feet and of a landscape constantly being rewritten in liquid fire. Welcome to an extraordinary journey into the molten heart of our planet. In this video, we'll explore the full story behind Kīlauea's most mesmerizing eruption in 40 years. From the staggering scale of the lava fountains to the cultural reverence of Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes, we'll dive into the raw science and ancient symbolism of one of the most iconic volcanoes on Earth. This event was documented by journalist Patrick Pester and published on May 28, 2025. A vivid chronicle of the moment when lava lit up the twilight and geology danced with mythology. But this story isn't just about glowing rock. It's about power, raw, ancient, and still very much alive. It's about science and spirituality, and how they converge in the most unexpected ways on this living, breathing island. Because when Kīlauea speaks, it speaks in fire, in rumble, in heat, and in meaning. Each pulse of lava is a word in Earth's ancient language. To witness such an eruption is to witness the planet in conversation with itself. At precisely 4:15 p.m., seismic instruments detected a sudden swarm of shallow earthquakes. Less than 10 minutes later, the first thin streams of lava emerged from the northern vent of Halemaumau crater. These glowing threads quickly swelled into explosive jets of molten rock. In under 30 minutes, the fountains climbed to staggering heights, some measured at over 1,000 feet tall, roughly equal to a 90-story building. The sound was deafening, a continuous roar punctuated by crackles and subterranean thunder that rattled glass, bones, and nerves alike. Then, just after 5 p.m., a second act. The south vent came alive, its lava jets soaring up to 800 feet. The combined force of both vents painted the sky in shifting gradients of red, orange, and gold. Gas plumes hissed, lightning arced across the ash-filled sky, and the caldera glowed like a furnace beneath the stars. Onlookers watched in disbelief, some from safe viewing areas along the park's edge, others tuning in from around the world through live satellite and drone footage. The air trembled. Cameras fogged from the heat. Even at a distance, the heat shimmered visibly, warping the air like a desert mirage. By 10:25 p.m., the fountains began to fade, but the crater's transformation was far from over. Fresh lava had spread across the floor of Halemaumau, crusting over in patches, glowing at the edges. A harsh new landscape had been born, barren, brilliant, and unmistakably alive. Kīlauea is a textbook example of a shield volcano, built through successive flows of basaltic lava over hundreds of thousands of years. Its eruptions are typically effusive rather than explosive, but under certain conditions, this gentle giant can roar with extraordinary force. In this case, the eruption was preceded by months of magma movement detected deep beneath the surface. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory logged significant inflation at the summit, a ballooning of Earth's surface due to rising magma, and recorded elevated emissions of volcanic gases. Tremor patterns, distinct from ordinary earthquakes, indicated that pressurized magma was straining the crust. What made this eruption exceptional was the intensity of the lava fountains. When magma is rich in volatiles and under extreme pressure, the release can be explosive, launching lava into the sky like a geyser of flame. Gas bubbles trapped in the molten rock expand as pressure drops, propelling magma upward with violent force. This is precisely what occurred on May 25th. Analysis of the lava's composition revealed high levels of sulfur dioxide, water vapor, and carbon dioxide, gases that not only fueled the fountains, but also contributed to massive atmospheric effects. Satellite imaging showed temperatures at the eruption source exceeding 1,140 degrees Celsius. The flow rate was immense, with lava pouring out at a rate of nearly 30 cubic meters per second, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool every 90 seconds. Scientists used everything from drone-based LiDAR scanning to spectroscopic gas analysis to monitor the event in real time. These tools helped create one of the most comprehensive datasets ever recorded from a high fountaining eruption, offering clues to the deep plumbing system that fuels Kīlauea's violent beauty. Beyond its dramatic visuals, the eruption carried serious environmental consequences. Approximately 75,000 metric tons of sulfur dioxide were released daily, forming dense volcanic smog. As the gas interacted with sunlight and water vapor, it produced sulfuric acid aerosols, which blanketed parts of the island and degraded air quality for days. Ash and Pelly's hair, thread-like strands of volcanic glass, coated rooftops, cars and crops across several districts. These filaments, so thin they can float for miles, are razor-sharp and dangerous to inhale. Emergency crews distributed masks and issued warnings, while environmental scientists tracked dispersion patterns to predict which communities would be most affected. The lava flows caused minor disruptions to wildlife. Nene geese, the rare and endangered Hawaiian state bird, were observed moving away from nesting areas near the crater rim. Native insects and plants showed early signs of heat stress and acidification, though many are adapted to the cyclical trauma of volcanic activity. Water sampling teams detected trace volcanic elements in local catchments, though none reached dangerous levels. Still, the incident prompted new emergency protocols and interagency drills across the island to improve preparedness for future eruptions. And yet, within weeks, new life began to stir. Ferns sprouted through cracks in the cooling lava. Birds returned. Microbial mats colonized the fresh stone. Kīlauea destroys, yes, but it also rebirths. To understand the true magnitude of this eruption, you must understand its spiritual weight. In native Hawaiian culture, Kīlauea is not just geology, it is genealogy. It is the physical manifestation of Pele, the goddess of fire, volcanoes and creation. When she stirs, it is a sacred event. At sunrise the next morning, cultural practitioners gathered at traditional sites to offer ho'okupu, ceremonial gifts to honor Pele. Chants in the Hawaiian language rang through the air, some passed down through generations, others improvised in the moment. Elders offered more lelo, ancestral stories that contextualize eruptions not as disasters, but as essential acts in the island's living narrative. Hula dancers performed on blackened ground, feet brushing ash, hands mimicking flames. Young keiki learned the meanings behind the dances, connecting oral tradition to visible truth. Ritual and science walked side by side, each interpreting the same event in different complementary ways. Tourists who witnessed these ceremonies described feeling transformed, not just by the scale of the eruption, but by the reverence it inspired. It was not fear, it was understanding. Kīlauea has erupted more than 60 times in recorded history, but its activity stretches far deeper into time. Oral traditions speak of rivers of fire carving valleys, reshaping coastlines and sparking migrations. Western records began in 1823, but the volcano's story predates pen and paper by millennia. The eruption in 1959 at Kīlauea Iki remains the benchmark for high lava fountains, with jets reaching nearly 2,000 feet. But the May 2025 event has already entered the annals of modern volcanology as one of the most visually and scientifically significant eruptions of the past half-century. Some experts now speculate that we are entering a new phase in Kīlauea's life cycle, one that may mirror the decades-long Pu'o'o eruption. The patterns are eerily familiar: increased summit inflation, episodic vent activation, deep magma recharge. Whether this event is a finale or a prelude remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: Kīlauea has awakened and the world is watching. The May 25th eruption of Kīlauea wasn't just a geological event. It was a revelation, a luminous exhale from the bowels of Earth. It reminded us that our planet is not inert rock and water, but a dynamic, breathing entity, capable of shaping and reshaping its own form in spectacular, terrifying and beautiful ways. If you've been moved by this story, if you want to see more about the forces shaping our planet, our history and our future, subscribe to this channel. Because from lava flows to solar winds, from tectonic plates to deep-sea vents, we're just beginning to uncover the Earth's true voice. And sometimes that voice roars.